Hi, everybody. This is Aundrea De Leon, Mindset for Success expert. And today I want to talk about the 3 inconvenient truths that high performers face in a rapidly shifting and sometimes shrinking job market. And they're pretty important in order to remain resilient and confident in rapidly changing times. So we'll talk about that in just a second. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Aundrea De Leon, and I help seasoned professionals who are exceptional at achieving results but have hit a brick wall break through and get back to creating results in less than 60 days. So let's get back to our topic at hand. Let's talk about specifically high performers in a rapidly shifting and changing job market. So the reason why I'm talking about high performers specifically, one, how do you know if you're a high performer? One way to know is if you have a achiever in your top 5 strengths finders profile. So most people who have achiever in their top 5 strengths in the strengths finders profile are a high performer. And they're that way because achieving is important to them. It's an aspect of everything they do in every area of their life. The other reason that the other way you can identify yourself as a high performer is, are you service oriented? Are your career, is your business model, etc. Are you more of a service provider? Do you provide a service? Are you a leader, a project manager, a guider, a strategist, an executor? You typically provide a service for people, and you enjoy doing that because you enjoy the value the service provides for other people. So that's how you might know if you're a high performer or not. And you usually have a standard of quality that you're not willing to give up on or forego in any situation. So the reason why I'm talking about high performers, because the name comes with performing. And when we have a rapidly shifting or shrinking job market or workforce market, things can happen that can have an impact on high performers that can erode their confidence and have an impact on the resilience. So let's talk about those 3 inconvenient truths. So it's interesting. I actually talked to someone just a few days ago who is a high performer, knows they're a high performer. And one of the things that they're very concerned about right now is workforce reductions and shifts. So the plan and the thinking was, let me just make myself as valuable as possible. And then when it comes to those workforce shifts or reductions, I won't be on that list. So that's really a myth and a really inconvenient, not truth. Your impact in a rapidly shifting workforce or work environment is going to have really nothing to do with your value. It's going to have to do with how many boxes and what salaries a company can have and what they can maintain going forward. And in those conversations, there might be about roles we need and this and that. But at the end of the day, those workforce reductions have absolutely zero to do with the value that you provide. So that leads us to inconvenient truth number 2, which is that if you are a high performer and you are on high performance mode because you're trying to be super valuable right now, the second inconvenient truth is that burnout is happening at a much higher and faster rate. And it's happening for a number of reasons. Number 1, the workload is either amped up or how you work. So especially a lot of people who had to go to remote work, who weren't used to working remote, that that online performance at all times. And a high performer is not about to step back, shut down, etc. They are going to perform. Burnout is going to happen, and it's uncomfortable. And it's fact, most people don't even realize they're burnout because high performers will never say, I'm depressed, but they might be feeling depressed or having symptoms of depression. They may be feeling frustrated, short-tempered, tired, physically tired. Having physical aches and pains is a sign and a form of burnout. And it means you've been overperforming and you've been performing too much. And so it's time to slow down and take a rest. And in fact, in some industries, I know that high performers, they've had a lot of workload shifted onto them. They've had to make rapid decisions. They're trying to manage workforces in a different way. There's a lot of pressure to execute in a different way. And so burnout is happening and they're not taking care of themselves. They're not doing stress management tools and techniques. They're not sleeping. They're not resting. They're not taking care of their body. They're not slowing down. So burnout is going to be expedited, especially for high performers, because they're driven to perform. They're driven to accomplish. So, and the third inconvenient truth for high performers is that this is actually a time to refocus. This is actually a time for high performers to focus on quality versus quantity. Also to get clarity on what are their values. So I've heard some high performers talking about, I've been doing this for so long, I forgot why I'm doing it. If there are going to be changes, if there are going to be changes in the workforce, there are going to be changes in business, this is a time to get back to basics. And back to basics means getting focused on what's most important. What are my values? What is important for me? And also focusing on our resilience skills. So resilience is about that ability to snap back, to recover from adversity, to keep moving forward. And so this time is actually a time for high performers to reassess. Are we climbing? And is it really worth it? Is it providing you, is that trajectory the trajectory that's really best and most important for you for the next phase of your life? Is this a time to reassess? Is this a time to say, I'm okay where I am? Is it a time to say, I'm actually going to pivot in my career and look in a new direction? Or I'm going to, you got to look at what you want to be doing, how you want to be doing it, and who you want to be doing it with. So it's actually a time for focusing. And for high performers, that means slowing down, that means focus, that means self-care, that means going back to basics. And again, focusing on quality over quantity, because high performers tend to get wrapped up into quantity, more, keep going. And so if you resonate with this, or if any of this makes sense to you, put a comment below. Let me know what makes sense for you, what rings true for you, how you're dealing with that. And if you need assistance with this right now, if you need some help slowing down, refocusing, shifting, seeing things from a different view, that's my job. That's what I'm here to help you do. So again, my name is Aundrea De Leon. I work with seasoned professionals who are exceptional at achieving results, but have hit a brick wall. I help them create breakthroughs so they can get through that brick wall and start creating results for themselves in less than 60 days. I appreciate your time. I wish you a fantastic day, and we'll see you again soon online.